Easy guys, Careless here, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball episode review. Episode 94, The Emperor of Evil returns, the reception of mysterious assassins. Okay, straight up, action light episode, but was so good. I feel like they've been getting better and better as Dragon Ball Super goes on. One of my biggest complaints with the sagas and the arcs in general have been the really misplaced humor. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good joke, I like banter, but I really felt like some of the earlier stuff, especially like the Pilaf stuff, was really kind of and borderline cringy. But this episode, it was so good, it was so funny. So I genuinely laughed out loud at least 2 or 3 times throughout this episode. So the episode begins with Goku coming back and he's talking about the fact that he's got Barber on board. They're going to bring Frieza. Everything's kind of going ahead. Fantastic. Great. Yeah? And they're still like, it seems like a bad idea. And I kind of agree. Like, it's dumb, but I think it's going to make for good storytelling. Now, if he ends up staying with them, I mean, there's something that happens in the episode and it does beg a question. But for now, let's say he does stay with the team. I'm curious to see how he teams up with some of the other people. Like, will he end up teaming up with Krillin? Will he make a reference to, like, penetrating in him in his third form? I can't. It's just nice to have somebody that isn't, like, lovey-dovey on the team, who's gonna give them a little shit when they do well, or when they don't do well even, or who's gonna begrudgingly compliment them when they do something good. It's just nice to have somebody who's gonna be able to give them some lip. So we cut from that to 2 of the Gods of Destruction. One whose name I can never remember is the stupid little rat guy. I don't like him. I don't like his character. And the other one, Sidra, whom I adore. I think he's the coolest looking God of Destruction. I'm sure there are others who would disagree, but I definitely like his design. And they're talking, saying that actually the fucking rat God of Destruction, he's got spies in, like, all the universes, and he's basically doing his best to have as much information as possible. Of all of the Gods of Destruction we've met, he's kind of seedy, like, he's, like, in a bad way. The others are kind of like, I've got to do the wrong thing, but it's for the right reason. But this guy's just a straight douche. Anyway, he convinces Sidra that actually we're trying to go for his universe first, which probably isn't true, but even the event is, he's manipulating him to try and get him to do something risky to try and put us out of the fight. And do you know what? Time and again, you find out that actually the higher-up god's dumb as fuck because he falls for it. And I actually thought Sidra wouldn't be. I thought he'd be a little bit more honourable than that. But I guess when your universe is under threat of being erased, you're gonna risk it. You're gonna risk it. Anyway, it comes out of that, and they end up having a chat with, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, they end up having a chat about Frieza. And they call on GodTube. Apparently, you can flick back through and watch some of his his highlights. I wonder what Frieza's highlights look like. I mean, they say that he wouldn't flinch at destroying a planet, but even so, I do wonder. Like, I do wonder what Frieza's highlights look like on GodTube. That's something they should give us, like, as a little fun extra. And they make a point of saying that actually they might be able to find a way to get Universe 7 out. And that's what they're going to do. So then cuts back to our universe, because this is where this episode has really been. And they're talking. So they reference Trunks and Goten. Again, I just wish they'd do something. But really what they're doing is they're just writing them out of the story. So they get sent off to Android 17's island. And we get to see 18, 17 and Krillin, like, hang out with each other. And this is the thing I love. Like, so if you're not going to do an action-based episode, give me good character growth and give me characters hanging out with each other and generally situations we haven't seen in a long time. And I felt this episode had a lot of them. So before we get sent off to the island, Trunks realizes that Frieza's on the board, and the picture, oh my god, the picture is so funny. I don't know who drew it, but I feel like it was Jacko. It's like a Jacko level drawing, but I don't know who drew it. But anyway, he makes a point of saying that actually he's a bad guy. What would he be becoming? And again, the humor, it was just funny. Vegeta is forced to say that that Frieza's turned over a new leaf and is now a good guy, and you see his inner monologue of him hating himself, having to compliment the guy he detests amongst the highest. Like, he hates and hates and hates. And that's the kind of funny that I wanted from the show. The humor that really understands where it comes from. Like, understands like why that would be funny. Yeah, where instead of just like, haha, cringy pilaf shit that nobody cares about. So I thought that was hilarious. And then when we did finally hit Android 17's island, we got another bit. It's made very clear that actually 18 and 17 clearly don't hang out that much. It was briefly mentioned in a previous episode. And Krillin does not know how to deal with 17. I mean, he doesn't. Like, 17 didn't even get Marin's name right. Oh my god, it was funny. Like, 18 threatened to kill him. Like, her name is Marin. Get it wrong again and I'll kill you. Even 17 was like, ooh, scary. I mean, like, I'm laughing now. Like, genuinely, like, caught me off guard. Like, how funny that scene is. That we got to see characters sort of just hang out almost. Not really, but kind of. And then, of course, they come back to Bulma's house. And we get a reunion. Probably the coolest one was 17 and Piccolo. Now, they had a couple run-ins back in Z, and they were amazing. And they have this like almost like standoff. It's not really, but Piccolo's like, "Are you stronger now?" And 17 is like, "Are you?" And then I thought it was gonna kick into a fight. I really did. And it was just a fake out, but it was such a good one. That actually Piccolo, he took off his glove and he shook his hand. And he's like, "Thank you for helping us. I'm grateful." And bowed his head. And treated 17 as an equal. Like, people say that there's not a lot of character growth. And we don't get a lot of, like, that kind of stuff from this show. But we got it, like, in fucking doses this episode. And it was so good. And then we cut to, obviously, finally getting to see Frieza. And so, Goku's gone to Baba the fortune teller's like home. You might recognize the layout. It was the one that we saw during the Dragon Ball arc, but I don't know if we saw it during Z. I don't remember seeing it in Z. I don't remember. But of course, he's there hanging out, and Baba brings out Frieza, and he's got the halo, and he does make a joke about it, about having a halo and how that's kind of pathetic and it annoys him, which again I thought was just quality like commentary. I like this sort of stuff, but on the outside, what we were kind of hitting off is that in the sky we got like a reverse. So I don't know if anyone noticed, but it was kind of similar to what happened in Resurrection of F, where like all the bad guys are waiting for them. Obviously they were working for Frieza, but this time they're not, but it kind of felt like it was kind of similar. And Goku's like, "Look, we gotta go. Instant transmission. Gotta leave. We gotta get out of here. We need to go now." Yeah? And it flicks back to Whis. And Krillin's like, "They're late." Beerus is freaking out they're late. And he's like to Whis. He's like, "What happens if we're late?" And Whis is like, "I guess we'll just get destroyed." And I'm like, Whis doesn't give a F. Like, doesn't care at all. No, he's like, "Psh, I still get to live. Screw you guys." And everyone's like, Goku needs to hurry up. Cuts back to Goku. And Frieza he's like, we need to fight them. Goku's like, "We ain't got time." He's like, no. I need to stretch off. I got soft in hell. So it implies that he's maybe not as strong as he was when he fought Goku in Resurrection of F. Although I don't know if that's, again, another fake out. But it's interesting, you know? And he just death beams somebody straight in the shoulder. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I slipped. Ooh, accident." And then he powers up. Oh my god. So, yes, I know the show's about energy key and powering up, but the combination of the color, because he got the gold, it glowed in Goku's face, it lit up like a sun on the planet, but the music that went with it, you just felt how epic it was. Yeah, and of course he powers up and cut, end of episode. I was like, no, like the ultimate cock block, don't. So I am super excited to see what they do with next week's episode. I imagine we've got maybe 1 episode or 2 episodes left before we finally get to see the Tournament of Power. I feel like I've been saying this for fucking weeks now, but we've got minutes. Now, we know they can drag out 5 minutes for like 20 episodes, but I really don't feel like they're going to do that. They've been very condensed with the episodes. And of course, that leads into the sneaky peek of next week's episode, which is, of course, Frieza's Rampage. So it just shows a lot of cutaways and of him fighting and just generally just being a douchebag. Now, this is where I wanted to talk about earlier. So I said before that I really wasn't excited about having Frieza. I've said this in a few reviews, and to be honest, I take it back. I take it all back. I'm super excited. It was good to see that even though Frieza is kinda under Goku's sway, he's still really not. Like, he gives him a cheeky one punch in this episode. But I'm curious, when Goku went Super Saiyan 3 in Z, by powering up, he drained his time that he could stay on Earth. Now, I'm wondering is if that same rule applies with Frieza. Because if that's the case, his power is exponentially higher than Super Saiyan 3. And will we get another fake out where what happens is he powers up to such a degree that he actually burns through all his time on Earth? I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but of course, let me know down in the comments below if you think that that's what's going to happen. Or if it doesn't happen, how do you think they're going to change it or tweak it? Like, because I'm curious. I want to know what you guys think. Of course, this is a discussion / review. I love this week's episode, and I am super stoked for next week's. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and a subscribe. And as always, guys, peace.